We appreciate everybody being with us today. We have got a couple of special announcements, and we'll get this program started. I'm Gary Chandler. I work in the Industrial Development Division for Three Rivers Planning and Development District. We'll get this program started by asking Mr. Phil Nanny, the Executive Director for the Union County Development Association, to come up and give an invitation. Phil?
Would you pray with me, please? Father God, we thank you for your watch care over us and for your provision for us even today. We thank you that you're shining so brightly on our community and seeing an opportunity for us to grow. Father, our prayer is that we would grow according to your will and through your way, so that our citizens, those people who work in these places, the investors who have earned their money and now are using it to make our community grow, that they would all be blessed. Father, we thank you for a beautiful day. God, here we are in July, and you've given us a cool morning together. And so your blessings keep pouring on us. Father, we thank you that you blessed us. We thank you that you love us. And my prayer today is that everyone who hears my voice will understand that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And I pray it in his name. Amen.
Phil, thank you. I will recognize our Union County Board of Supervisors. I have the pleasure of working with these guys day in and day out, along with our Mayor and Board of Aldermen in New Albany. They're a very special group, and they really make our jobs a lot easier when it comes to tackling manufacturing projects, expansions with local manufacturers, and doing things like we're going to talk about today in terms of developing industrial product. And I'll start with Chad Coffey, the board chairman this year, Steve Watson, Randy Owen, Evan Ditton, and Dave Kitchens. Thank you, gentlemen. Our mayor, Tim Kent, is with us today, and he's on the program, and he has an alderman, I believe, Kevin Dale White. Kevin, thank you for being here. We appreciate y'all's support. I'm going to go off and talk a little bit about the Enhanced Mississippi Board, and I'm going to call out the membership there. Without them, we would not be here today announcing this shell building construction, and we appreciate their interest in our community. Mr. V.M. Cleveland, Tom Robinson, First American Bank, People's Bank, B&A Bank, First Choice, Johnny Crane, Guy Lipscomb, Terry Jackson, Tommy Morgan, and Bill Gray. Gentlemen, thank you for your interest in our community and your investment in this building. I'm going to move down the list and recognize briefly, and without, we wouldn't be here again today. And they're been very helpful as we've moved through this process. Mr. Gerald Wardfield with Southland Construction. Gerald, thank you. Mississippi Development Authority has funds in both this pad-ready site that Dave's going to talk a little bit about later, and across the street at Martintown North Industrial Park, where the access road construction has commenced. Tracy's with us. She's been a longtime friend of Three Rivers, and we certainly appreciate Tracy and everything she does for our office and our communities. Thank you. Josh Thornton with the Tennessee Valley Authority. Josh is standing in the back. He's not one for public spectacle, but he is our partner, and TVA has been very instrumental in helping us plan for both this pad-ready site and Martintown North across the street. We really appreciate your insight and advice. No matter what time I text or call you, thank you. Miss Andrea Rose with the Appalachian Regional Commission. Andrea and I have worked together for a long time, going back to probably 2008 in various roles. ARC has funds in both projects too, in the pad-ready site and then across the street at Martintown North. And we certainly appreciate ARC's commitment to helping us develop industrial product, and also your commitment to helping see through the completion of Corridor B. Thank you. David Good with Northeast Mississippi Community College. David, thank you for your support. Our workforce partners. Always good to work with David and his team. I'm going to jump into our program now and talk a little bit about where we've been in New Albany and Union County. We've had a pretty good run as of late. Buildings that once sat empty have been filled by manufacturers such as Emerald Home Furnishings and VIP Cinema Seating, employing our citizens. The county developed what is now Futorian Way, which is an industrial access road in the Glenfield Industrial Park, to service the former Stratford Furniture Building, which, you know, was really Morris Futorian's first venture in Northeast Mississippi back in 1948, that started that mass production of upholstered furniture in our region that has bloomed such today. In doing so, land was opened up in order for us to carve sites out of it along Futorian Way. One of those sites was taken just recently by S&A Industries, which is an automotive supplier. They chose a 20-acre site in Glenfield Industrial Park and recently cut the ribbon back in May on their 52,000 square foot building. And you know, I mentioned the road along Futorian Way that was primarily used to service that Stratford Furniture Building. Well, that building is now being utilized to store product for a variety of different manufacturers in our region. So by and large, the buildings that were empty not all that long ago are now being used by manufacturers, and most of our sites in our industrial park settings in Union County and New Albany are full. Our latest unemployment figures are very low, third lowest in the state at 3.8%, well below the state average of 4.9%. And the thing that I like to point out, and we talked a little bit, Bill, at your board meeting yesterday, this community is growing. So we're a small to medium-sized county for Northeast Mississippi, right? Well, since 2010, and between 2010 and 2008, our population's increased 5.4%. Now that represents about 1,500 people. But when you take into consideration that the other 17 Northeast Mississippi counties' growth average is only 1.5%, and about 10 of them are losing some population, we're doing well. And the state only grew during that same time period of 0.6%. So, you know, we get a bad rap sometimes in Mississippi when we're talking about losing population and brain drain and those sort of things. But this community is growing and we're proud of it. And it's because of the things the gentlemen sitting behind me are doing and the gentlemen out in this crowd are doing, and, you know, the private sector investment here. It all comes together to make a real difference and make the quality of life for those who choose to live in a community all the more better. Times are good, but the community isn't standing around with our hands in our pockets waiting on the next big thing to happen. The community has taken proactive steps to better position us to compete for manufacturing projects in the future. At this time, I'm going to call on District 3 Union County Supervisor Dave Kitchens to talk a little bit more about those proactive steps that are taking place in our community. Dave?
Good morning. How's everybody? The achievements that Union County and the city of New Albany have done over the last several years is truly remarkable. Gary, appreciate you highlighting some of those achievements for us. But we as a board of supervisors, along with our partners, we've worked hard over the last few years to get to this point. We have filled our empty buildings and put manufacturers on vacant sites. Today, most of our buildings are full. We don't have anything to offer a prospective manufacturer. And we have limited greenfield sites as well. Our success is good, but we've come to the point where we just don't have any marketable sites to show our prospective industries. So with that, we come to today's announcement. While we're proud of what we've done in the past, we're looking forward and we're always working for the future. We understand that in today's hyper-competitive economic development climate, manufacturers want more than just raw land. They don't want to locate and look at a soybean field. They want developed product. So we've looked at locations. They expect prepared land, they expect roads, and they expect infrastructure in place. And that kind of development does not happen overnight, and it is not cheap. While our plan for New Albany and Union County is to compete for the next generation of advanced manufacturing jobs, we have still a lot of work to do, but we're thrilled to be here today to talk about our progress. We, along with our partners, and most of them are here today, we have methodically set out on a course to develop a competitive industrial park in New Albany and Union County. You know, it wasn't that long ago that across Highway 30, the Martintown North Industrial Site was just a soybean field. 4 years ago, Union County purchased the initial 100 acres. And just last year, we purchased another 27 acres and secured a option of the last 119 acres. And with guidance from TVA, authorities' product development team led to a master conceptual plan. And you can see that plan right here on the easel. It includes 4 50-acre sites with various size buildings on that. So your Board of Supervisors, we believe that if we're going to be competitive in the industrial development arena, we have to have that type of infrastructure in place. And today we're announcing the start of construction of a new industrial access road that will stretch across the eastern portion of Martintown North from Highway 30 to County Road 54. And with that, we were able to do that with federal and state grants totaling over $1.2 million to help make this road a reality. And construction on that road is expected to be completed by the end of this year. But in addition to the road, we've also received $250,000 in a grant by the Mississippi Development Authority through their site development grant program to install a 12-inch water main that parallels the new industrial access road. In all, over $1.5 million will be invested in the Martintown North industrial site. And none of this would be possible without the help and assistance from our partners. I'd like to thank, and please join me in thanking our partners, the Mississippi Development Authority, the Appalachian Region Commission, and the Tennessee Valley Authority. We appreciate your help and thank you for making this a reality. Now here at Martintown South, 3 years ago, we set out a plan to devise, to develop a pad-ready site for manufacturing. Local funds were matched with a generous grant from the Mississippi Development Authority and the Appalachian Region Commission. Public funds totaled over $600,000. The result is a 200,000 square foot pad that was completed last summer, and you can see that pad over my right shoulder. With that pad, the Enhanced Mississippi Investor Group will be able to build a 100,000 square foot shell building, and we are tickled to partner with the Enhanced Group. And you can see the rendering of that building here to my right. So in about 6 months, you'll see a building constructed from this pad. With it, that building and our sites across the road, we seek to put New Albany, Union County in a position to compete for manufacturing projects that, tell you the truth, we wouldn't be able to compete for because what manufacturers are looking for. They're looking for buildings, they're looking for infrastructure, and we didn't have that until now. So this is a fine example of the public sector working with the private sector to help move our county forward. And without Enhanced Mississippi's interest and commitment, we wouldn't be here today breaking ground on this 100,000 square foot shell building. So on behalf of Union County and our citizens, we thank the Enhanced Group. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call on Mr. V.M. Cleveland to make remarks on behalf of the Enhanced Mississippi Group. V.M.?
Good morning. I have a little help here. Some of y'all know me, and I'm involved with the Depot Furniture Market. When they see me come to the podium, they say, well, this program's about over. So I'll try to make my remarks sort of brief. In 2017, we formed the Enhanced Mississippi LLC, which is a private, for-profit bankers corporation comprised of community-minded investors. By putting a group of investors together allows us to do more and bigger projects. Our goal was to invest in projects that will help stimulate economical development in North Mississippi and create jobs. This group allows us to use private funds and partner with government entities to get the job done. We're here today to announce this first project. This project is going to consist of a 100,000 square foot building. The building will sit on this 200,000 square foot, the yellow grass out there, which lies on a 35-acre site in this big Martintown Industrial Park. We have the ability to expand this building to 400,000 square feet. I developed some of these things on my own. We never go in on the site to build a spec building that we don't have some growth area, because we expect success with whatever industry we put in it. Some of the key reasons we picked this site, because Randy Kelly told us to, but it is located in this Martintown Industrial Corridor, and it's 1.5 miles to Interstate 22, which has helped. The labor force is the size of 280,000 within a 45-minute drive from here. That sounds like a lot. And this location is only 45 minutes from Memphis metro area, which has the major airports and infrastructure to handle all the needs of big corporations. As we all run into that a little bit from some of these Fortune 500 companies. Now, we appreciate the support of corporations in New Albany and Union County. We look forward to starting construction and ultimately the building being occupied by the end user. Construction is slated to start in a couple of weeks, and it won't be done in 90 days either. It'll be about 6 months. This is our first project of Enhanced Mississippi, but it's certainly not our last. We're already searching for location number 2, and I saw Tommy Morgan out here in the crowd and a few other guys. Tommy, how much luck do you have with an industrial suspect showing them a drawing and a rendering? Not a lot. I have 0. So by putting up a spec building, if I had 100,000 square foot building set anywhere today, I could lease it and or sell it. And Enhanced Mississippi is really not focused on profit. We want to make enough money to survive and do other projects, but we want to create jobs and make some other counties, which, you know, northeast Mississippi is all brothers and sisters. I mean, we are from Tupelo, and we are sort of a hub, but all these surrounding towns are so important to us, and we're important to them. So we're really, really glad to spread the love, if you will, and sort of spread out and get some further projects. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, V.M. I failed to recognize, and I noticed over here to my left, State Representative Margaret Ellis Rogers. State Rep, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And I also want to recognize too, and I'm looking at Chris Spence back in the back, our friends that are around us in this Martintown Industrial Corridor took time out of their day to be with us. friends from Walmart Distribution, thank you for being here. Longtime employers in this community, and really the first industrial or distribution client in this corridor. And then, of course, Diversity UTech, which is located just behind us there, has been here about 10, 11, 12 years now, Chris. Chris is a partner. We trade notes regularly. Thank you for your interest in the community and what UTech and what Walmart Distribution does for our community. At this time, I would like to make a call on the Honorable Tim Kent, Mayor of the City of New Albany, to make some remarks. Mayor Kent?
Well, thank you, Gary. And I too would like to thank Chris. They were the pioneer in our area. I remember when they did come, he and Tony Ritchie, this was a bean field. So, you know, they had a lot of vision then, and they haven't slowed down. So thank y'all for staying with us and believing in us. But on behalf of the City of New Albany, we are proud to partner with Union County and Enhanced Mississippi on this spec building project. Our light gas and water, or New Albany light gas and water, provides water, sewer, and natural gases here in Martintown to the industrial corridor. And the city also provides fire and police protection, but we're committed to doing that and doing it the best we can. Over the years, the New Albany Light, Gas and Water has consistently found ways to increase service and capacities to our industrial paying customers, and kind of paving the way for the diverse manufacturing base in our community. I remember when I first ran for mayor, and I've been here 14 years, so I'm getting old. My son was graduating college with an electrical engineering degree, and at that point, he didn't have many options to come back home. So my goal, and I stumbled into it, it wasn't anything I did, to be honest with you, but was for people like him, if they wanted to come back home and live and work, they would have that option. And I was just very proud to see places like Blue Tech and what you're going to see behind us in a few years. But we made a commitment to have generous water supply and sewer capacities here in Martintown. Today, we have a reserve water capacity of 1 million gallons a day, and we have excess sewer capacity of 2 million gallons a day that we can, that right here where we stand. So I hope it'll be attractive to many of the potential manufacturers. It's our goal to build our community's manufacturing diversity here at Martintown, and by continuing to provide top-notch city services. We understand time is money, and when you're seeking a new location, it's kind of changed since Chris and Tony came. When people come in today, they want to see what they're getting. So times have changed, and everybody's in a hurry. And I appreciate Randy and John and Three Rivers. You know, I always say I've been on Randy's board forever now, it seems like, but he may be blind, but he's got tremendous sight, because he can see things that none of us can. And we appreciate him more than he'll ever know. But we look forward to partnering with the manufacturers, any manufacturers that come, and still to, you know, assure them a smooth incorporation into our community. But again, thank you, Enhance, VM, and everybody out here for believing and showing your interest in this community and the commitment to New Albany and Union County. And we look forward to serving Three Rivers, Union County, and Enhanced Mississippi to bring more good paying jobs to our community. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lord. At this time, we're going to break ground.